The subject matter of beliefs is it's a big deal right now because of the Sagittarius Blackmoon Lilith transit. You know, Sagittarius, this brings into play topics, themes around beliefs. And Blackmoon Lilith is getting at beliefs that you may have been ashamed to admit, beliefs that you could have been judged or criticized for. And it's beliefs that your body is confirming, even though there may be cognitive dissonance where you would prefer to go along with certain narratives. You would prefer the comfort zone of identifying with narratives, identifying with what other people are okay with you believing or thinking. And I'm going to go over a point again that I know may not be popular, but I know one thing I understand about myself is that I'm not going to have the beginning, but I always have the end. The end always belongs to me. Always. That's what I understand. And saying that is like this. White supremacy, the construction of racism, and the fact that it supports corporate greed through politics and social engineering, and religions when you include the secret treaty of Verona. That is the system. That's the global order that's being challenged right now. Not yet by the people necessarily, even though this is the era of coup d'etats. This is the era of revolutions, especially from Africa, who kicked it all off. You know, they kicked white supremacists out of there. They made them pack up and go. Nigeria is contrary to the global, to the continental movement, but it's here. The world is waking up from the ongoing narratives of white supremacy, white greatness, what white people have so long wanted other people to believe in, agree with, go along with. That whole belief system is coming crashing down. It can't survive anymore. And what goes along with that as well, this whole light skin thing. This whole light skin thing. In every nation, you have indigenous peoples. And there's no such thing as a light-skinned indigenous person. There's no such thing. There ain't one. They don't exist. The yellow color, the color of my indigenous people of these colors and shades don't exist. They're the color of my cigar, nigga. They're the color of me. Copper tone, chestnut tone, and darker. You go to South America, that's the case. Central America, that's the case. North America, that's the case. Asia, that would be the case. India, that would be the case. I don't care where you go. Europe, that's the case. No matter where you go on the earth, there are indigenous people. And every people who's lighter than them assumes superiority, assumes greatness, assumes entitlement. assumes they're better than the one who's darker. Native Americans. Many of those light-skinned ones who are really Asians who migrated into these different territories of the West, Siberians. The assumptions and entitlement over the indigenous natives and how they work with the infrastructure of white supremacy to make sure that it can never challenge them. Forming alliances with an enemy against the greater enemy or the greater threat, which is somebody darker than you. So, now, some people listening to this might say, "Oh, why is he talking about this? Move on for." Okay, maybe you never had to deal with that as part of your world. But this is the honesty of the world. That light skin and white people had the convenience of not having to deal with. So now this is the time where everybody gets inconvenienced with the truth. Blackmoon Lilith is inconvenience. Sagittarius is truth. Inconvenient truth, inconvenient disturbance to falsehoods and beliefs, social constructs that come from false narratives and beliefs, now gets challenged and dismantled. How long did we live in this world miseducated to the point where we don't even know the difference between an indigenous person and a native person? You might say, why does that matter? Because claim of status is what matters. It's the most important thing, claim of status. What's your nationality? What comes with nationality? Your estate, your jurisdiction, your status in law, your political leverage, how you approach international or national law. It is everything. Your ties to the land, your rights to the land, who you are in both Constitution and treaties. It makes the difference. It is everything. Who you are. Social constructs like race, those are distractions from the status. Race is not real. There's no such thing as fucking race. That's what white people made up. There is no race. But there is status. There is nationality, which includes particular tribes, a state, culture, ethnicity, bloodlines, pedigree. Yeah, all of that. So the conversation does matter, because white people assume power, domination, a legacy of power and domination all over the earth by assigning race, separation, and division that gave them benefit and gain for corporate means, leaving everybody who was darker than them confused. There are ancestors of mine and ancestors of some of yours who went to the grave never knowing who they was, never knowing what rights they had, never knowing anything, because white men lied to them. White men confused it, and Khazarians too. Khazarians and white men work together like peanut butter and jelly on this earth. side by side in this earth. White men are the right hand of Khazarians. What Khazarians over there in Palestine doing, white men are always helping them and always have been helping them to do all their dirty work without a conscience. Now their own women are rising up against them. You know, the woman represents the conscience. She's the oracle. His own woman is rising up against him. Y'all can't see this shit? White women are rising up against what white men have created in this world of confusion, oppression, injustice, genocide, global crimes, tyranny, abuse of power. They're rising up and protesting against them. All people are seeing the truth. Everybody who thought that they was going to fit in with being white or being light-skinned, I'm better than the darker ones in my country, they're better than the darker ones in my nation. Everybody's getting a wake-up call because everybody learned in 2025, if you're not white, you're not white. There ain't no in-between. Everybody got their wake-up call. And when they do, they look to Black Americans in particular to get a gauge of direction, to get some insight and understanding. It's all coming down. The big lie is coming down. The domain of this big lie is unum sanctum. Pope Bull unum sanctum. That's the domain of it all. Spanish Inquisition. Manifest destiny. Doctrine of discovery. These assumptions and judgments over all people is now being challenged and questioned. Even here in America, there's a silent revolution that will never be televised. We so-called African Americans are realizing, finally, who we really are. Nobody's going to stop the truth. Facts and truth are two different things. You go online and do a Google search, you know, verifying facts and statistics, you know, and different things like that. That ain't got shit to do with what the truth is. The truth is coming out, not verifiable facts that they can manipulate. Not verifiable facts that they could play around with. I'll give you an example. Hitler was painted as the worst man in history. I beg to differ. King Leopold of the Congo, a European who entered the Congo and wiped out millions upon millions, makes the claim of the Holocaust like something you shake your head at. Okay? They were able to convince the world that the Holocaust was the worst thing that happened in humanity. African Americans' crisis here in America trumps that for days. What we went through right here was way worse. What Native Americans went through here, the light-skinned Asian ones, what they went through was much worse. What Asians went through in California was worse. They just have entitlement to the tears of the people. But in Congo, with King Leopold, makes it laughable. And furthermore, look at something that Hitler did. When he first took office, it's two things that he changed. It's two things that he changed that changed everything. He put a stop to pornography. He put a stop to usury. Pornography and usury. Now, deliberately, what was in consideration of that? The fact that Jews were the ones in the community who bought it there. So likewise here. Why you think they so scared again of Islam, of Muslims, especially black Muslims? Why you think they so scared? Because it gives people a conscience. And when you have a conscience, they can't make money off of you. They can't exploit you. When you no longer consent, look at that word, when you no longer consent to predatory banking, and you understand who you are in common law and equity, that's a threat. That's the biggest problem. That's the thing right there that makes them off you. That's the only threat. Who are the CEOs of Pornhub? You know who? The small hats. Hollywood, the hip-hop industry, private prison industrial complex. Y'all know who's behind it. Come on, man. Hitler tried to tell people. Hitler tried to tell y'all. Hitler screamed to the top of his lungs that was the case. And he also told the world that America would be cursed because they chose to enslave God's chosen people, i.e. African Americans. We are the conscience of this country. If we wasn't here, the country wouldn't have a conscience. They wouldn't have a moral compass. They wouldn't know right from wrong. They wouldn't know good from bad. And guess what? They wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the truth and a lie. They wouldn't have discretion and discernment. African Americans, we are the ones that gives this country a conscience. The ability to discern the difference between the truth and a lie. We're the ones who help people to see white men for who they really are. We're the ones who gave a white woman a conscience, and she's using that conscience right now to fight injustice. White women all over America are fighting injustice with their voices. And they're angry at white women, labeling them crazy liberals, blue-haired liberals. Now, I'm with that on some. My only gripe is feminism when it comes to liberalism. That's my only gripe. Is feminism. Other than that, that's where the humanitarian sensitivity comes from. That's where Libra Ma'at comes from. And white women got it from black people. They talk about segregation and all these, and all this other shit. Nigga, black people ain't scared of segregation. Bring that shit on. We not scared of this. There's nothing that white men could do to phase us. Nothing. And that's why we're looked to for instruction and guidance. That's why people look to us. You gonna do it in secret. Just like right here on this channel. The last video where I talked about something like this, yeah, I got a little 4 likes. You know what I'm saying? I got a little 4 likes. People can't even stomach to listen to it. They can't even stomach to hear it. Why? A nappy-head black man is talking. And he's not pandering to people just because they white. He's not pandering. He's not walking safely and treading lightly. He's not going along with the agenda. He's not saying shit that's safe. He's not carrying on a narrative. It's 256 people in my following list who can't unfollow me. They can't look away, but they gotta watch because they know it's the truth. They can't stomach it. They can't hit that play button on the last 2 videos I put out because they can't stomach it. It makes them physically sick. They can't stomach it. But it's the truth. It's the fucking truth. If this country became segregated again, but black Americans had, was separated from white folks, guess who would suffer from that? White people. White people would suffer. economically as well. Nobody can handle the black dollar circulating within a black community rather than us carrying on the tradition of being the world's #1 consumers. Nobody can handle that. Everything would collapse. Everything will fall through. Every people will suffer. And so likewise, that's monetary. But what about the spiritual currency? What about the currency of consciousness? Black people are the source of spiritual and cultural and moral consciousness. We the source. We're the source of that. We're the source of that thought, of that thinking. And we're the source of how to discern between truth and falsehood. We know how to spot a lie and how to decode mysteries and illusions. Why? Because we have been with the white man for 400 years and we had no choice. He's a liar. He speaks with a forked tongue. He's tricky. Why? Because he's the right hand of Khazarians through white Christian nationalism, Zionism. So we had no choice. It's in our blood to know a lie. It's in our blood to discern the difference. It's in our DNA to decode mysteries. You can't pull a trick on us. It's impossible. You can't break our spirit. Anything they tried to do to harm us, we turn it into gold. We are the masters of transmutation. We're the masters of alchemy. You gonna give us the scraps of animals for food and slavery, thinking you punishing? Nigga, we turn that shit into a fucking delicacy that everybody looking for soul food, nigga. You segregate us and throw us in the hood. Now everybody beating down the door to get a slice of some hood in their spirit. A slice of some hood in their personality, a slice of some hood in their jargon and language and delivery, the way that they show up and all that. You can't punish us, nigga. It's impossible to punish us. We're the ones that's impossible to punish. Ain't shit you could ever do to us to hurt us. Nothing. Segregation would demonstrate white folks because they would be left in the insecurity of not being able to gauge from the conscience. They lose it. And the first ones to lose it will be their own women. Because white women are ahead of white men in frequency, because they're able to see not only that something ain't right, but they're able to identify and see that there's value in moving past his rigid nature. They're able to gauge that and see, and that's why he's catching hell from his wife. That's why he's catching hell from his woman. That's why he's catching hell from the white sisterhood. White women have become conscious. They have become insightful, predictive. They're developing the skill to decode lies and illusions and deceit. They're developing that clairvoyance and insight that we're born with. That's very natural for us. We don't have to do no special spiritual works and all this other stuff and go on fucking meditation retreats and all these other... Nigga, we born with that shit. In the fucking slums, we still got it. Take everything away from us. We create joy. Take everything away from us. Give us the worst. Punish us. Discriminate on us. Throw shit on us. We will make paradise out of it. Think that you're locking us away in the hellfire. And you will envy where we sit. You will long to be where we're at. Even though you thought you was throwing us down in the bottom, you're going to want to come down to the bottom to be a part of that bottom. That's who we are. And nobody can see. A lot of y'all niggas listening can't stomach this shit. You can't stomach it. It kills you inside that this is the case. It kills you. You know what you're looking at? I'll show you what white supremacy has done. You're looking at a native many times over. Look at my face. Look at me. I'm a native many times over. On my father's side, Cherokee. All right? Yeah. I'm American through. I'm what America look like, nigga. Do I look white to you? I'm what America looks like. I'm American. Through and through and through. Cherokee. You're looking at a Cherokee. Copper tone. Chestnut tone. Just like my cigar. Number 2. On my grandfather's side, my mother's side, from St. Croix. What is St. Croix? Arawak and Taino. Just like Puerto Ricans. Dominicans. Haitians. Trinidad. Caribbeans, Virgin Islands. Arawak and Taino. American. Indigenous American. Do you understand that, nigga? I don't have to put no 1776 tattoos all over my body. Put big old, 1776, stickers on my fucking truck. Wear American flags all over the place and all this other shit on my hat. Talking about the Constitution all the time. Nigga, I'm indigenous. I'm not Native American. I'm indigenous Native American, nigga. You looking at it. I'm as American as you can get. Ain't no fucking feathers on my head. I am as American as you can get. My grandmother from Mississippi. Choctaw. What, nigga? I got 3 layers of American indigenous blood. Fuck you mean? And split one side on my mother through marriage. Lineage goes to Nigeria. Osogbo. Yeah. So I say that to say this. White supremacy will have you thinking that the symbol of America is some white motherfucker with an America flag on, Make America Great Again, 1776 all over his fucking truck. Nigga, nah. White men and Khazarians have the same thing in common. They never had a home in Earth that they originated from. There's never been a home where they originated from. They don't have a home on the Earth where they grew out of the mud. Somebody was already there when they got there. And that was the beginning of the crisis. Homelessness on the earth. Thus the entitlement, the desperation, the ruthlessness to claim a home through violence, indoctrination, lies, deceit. The truth is coming out, man. This is Aquarian age. Pluto is in Aquarius out of bounds. Did you think that Aquarius was nice? It was sweet? Oh, yeah, I agree, but no, nigga. Y'all don't understand, man. Y'all really don't understand. Y'all don't understand, B. And you can't stomach this shit. I can stomach it. And that's why I'm able to receive the revelation all day, man. I could receive download all day. And the shit I talk about, it ain't spacey. It ain't all spaced out. You know what I mean? Going into ethereal of this and astral body projecting. I traveled over here and I went to this star galaxy. And yeah, did you ever read this book with this person? Did you ever read that? Nigga, I ain't fucking spaced out. I'm real. I'm authentic. I'm down to fucking earth. The shit I say, you look around, boom, it's right there, nigga. Realness. I channel. I ain't no fucking floozy. All this poetic bullshit that can't nobody fucking use. What's that? Where the realness, man? Where the fucking realness? I take astrology and I go into the realness. Not some sweet fucking poetry. Show me where it makes sense, where my feet touch the fucking ground, nigga. Other than that, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up other than that. We got enough distractions. Astrology like some pastime. Oh, yeah, I'm in astrology, and my rising sign is this, and my third house has this, and my Venus is over here, and my Mars is over there. Nigga, what the fuck is that? What is that? What is it doing for you? But you still scared of the truth. You still a fucking coward.